Hi, good afternoon. This is Sheena Aline, your Caribbean College Planner and Advisor at the Student Center. Welcome to Studying in the UK, a guide for the Caribbean student. This session features two universities from the United Kingdom. Today I have with me Emma Burgess from the University of Essex, and I also have Irene Holsworth from the University of the West of England, Bristol, UWE Bristol, as it's commonly known. They're going to bring some information talking about their institutions, general information about studying in the UK, and some of the benefits of studying in the UK if you're coming from the Caribbean. And without further ado, we're going to start first with Emma from the University of Essex with her presentation on the University of Essex. Emma and Irene, thank you for joining me. Emma, over to you.
Thank you, Sheena. Hi, everyone. My name is Emma, as Sheena was saying. I work in the international office here at the University of Essex, and I am the point of contact for students across Latin America and the Caribbean. So if ever you were to have any questions about studying in the UK or specifically at Essex, then I would be the point of contact. I would love to hear from you. Please don't hesitate to reach out if you do have questions. So what I've done is prepare a presentation that sort of is a general overview of the UK, and then there's some more specific information about the University of Essex at the end, because I understand and assume that the UK is possibly not the only destination that you're considering. So what I would love to be able to do is convince you that the UK is a destination worth considering for either your undergraduate degree or postgraduate qualification, whatever stage at your life you might be at. So these are some of the key reasons that we see a lot of international students from all over the world come and study at our universities in the UK. We definitely have a reputation, not just for the quality of our teaching, but our research as well. We attract a lot of academics who are world leaders within their expertise and research field, who come to the UK to work in academia at our universities and teach students. So we have that reputation. So you can be sure that if you're coming to study a qualification at a university here in the UK, that qualification will be recognised globally. We also have a reputation for developing skills that employers are looking for. And I think this is something more and more that universities are placing importance on. It's definitely something at Essex that we place a huge amount of importance on. We understand that, of course, if you're coming to study with us in the UK, that it's an expensive option for you, and it is essentially an investment on your future, and you want to see a return on that investment. So we make sure that right from the beginning you're being taught really important transferable skills, or whether it's skills related to whatever it is that you're studying, that ultimately they're skills that future employers are going to be looking for. Now, if you're thinking about coming to study at an undergraduate level, so if you're at high school or you've finished high school and you're thinking about coming to study in the UK to study a bachelor's degree, you'll find that most universities across the UK, we offer 3-year undergraduate programs. There's a slight difference in Scotland, and it does vary slightly depending on the program. But for all universities, you do need to know what subject it is that you want to study, whether it's a single subject or a combination of different subjects. You choose that at the point of application, and then from the very beginning, you go straight into that subject area. So we really suit students who know exactly what it is that they want to study, and especially here in England, in Wales and Northern Ireland as well, you can look to be graduating your undergraduate degree in 3 years. With masters, a lot of our masters as standard are just 1 year. So you could be looking at completing both an undergraduate bachelor's qualification and a master's course in just 4 years. The UK has a really great post-study work visa. So this is a visa that allows students to stay in the UK once they've graduated. So this is true for both undergraduate, so a bachelor's qualification and a master's qualification. You can stay in the UK for 2 years. If you graduate from a PhD, you can stay an additional year. But it's a really great option if you're thinking about wanting to study in the UK and then stay once you've completed your studies to look for work. There are pathway options available. I'll talk a little bit about the admissions process, but if you're concerned about your undergraduate or your high school qualifications and you're not sure if you're eligible for direct entry, then there are foundation and pathway options available to students. So there's some of the key highlights, some things about what to expect if you study in the UK. Certainly safety, we're some of the safest countries in the world. And again, this is something that universities place lots of importance on. For example, our largest campus in the city of Colchester, we have 24-hour security, and there are lots and lots of different support outlets that students can go to. So we have a residence-based support service. As I mentioned, we have 24-hour security. We have a student wellbeing and inclusivity service. So there's lots and lots of different support services, and generally speaking, the country's very safe. In terms of housing, you can expect to have your own room. So most accommodation in the UK you'll find is single dorm and self-catered. There are obviously variations between different universities, and that's something I would encourage you to do some research on, and I'll talk a little bit about what we have at Essex. But as standard, most universities, they will guarantee housing at least for your first year if you're an undergraduate student, and then you might be looking to move off campus in your second and final year. At Essex, we guarantee housing for international students for the duration of your studies, whether that's an undergraduate degree or a master's. We guarantee housing for the duration, so you can be confident that you'll have somewhere to stay for the duration of your studies with us. As an international student in the UK, you can get a part-time job. So your student visa will allow you to work part-time, so you can work up to 20 hours a week, and you're allowed to work on campus or off campus. So there's not really any restrictions in terms of where you work. Often the university you might be studying at might be a really good employer. So at Essex, we employ our students to work as student ambassadors or country representatives or an accommodation representative, or when we have events on campus. There's lots and lots of different student jobs that we offer. But if you wanted to work off campus, you're more than entitled to do so. The only restriction that you need to be aware of is the 20-hour. During your term time, you can't work more than 20 hours a week. But if you happen to be in the UK over the holidays, over Christmas, over Easter, that restriction is lifted and you can work full-time. So generally speaking, the country, I mean, the UK, we have a very rich cultural heritage. It's a very, very international experience. If you're coming to study in the UK, you can expect to be studying with international students from all over the world. You will find that a lot of UK universities have quite multicultural international student body. At Essex, it's my favorite thing about the university, and I'll explain that in a bit more detail. But yeah, you can certainly expect for it to be an international experience, and you get to meet people and network with other students who are from completely different corners of the earth. And of course, it's a gateway to Europe. So if you're wanting to explore our neighbouring countries, then a lot of students spend their weekends doing that as well. So the UK, it suits students who are self-motivated, know what it is that they want to study, passionate about the subject, open-minded, possibly quite a mature outlook. We do treat you like adults if you're an undergraduate student. You are treated like an adult from the beginning. And there is quite a lot of independent study that you'll be expected to coordinate off your own back. And students who are really excited about the prospect of traveling and experiencing new cultures as well. A lot of students who I speak to who are from outside of the UK or from Latin America or parts of the Caribbean, they often haven't been to the UK yet, but they've always wanted the experience of living in a different country, or just taking advantage of that feeling with getting their next level qualification. So yeah, it suits students who are excited about the prospect moving some distance away from home. So in terms of student life, of course, if you're coming to study, the most important thing is going to be your course, the program that you've applied to study. But I think that students get the most out of the experience studying with us, certainly at Essex, are those students that really get involved in all the extracurricular activities and things that are going on outside of the classroom as well. So every single university in the UK will have their own students' union, and that will be made up of different clubs, whether it's sports clubs or societies. They might be departmental, political, representative, related to the arts or music, whatever it might be. Students can join those clubs, as many different clubs that they want to join, and it's a really great way to start building your social networks. Lots of our programs offer the opportunity for students to do study abroad or placement years. Again, even if you're a master's student, there are opportunities for you to do international internships with our Essex Abroad team. If you're an undergraduate student, you can take advantage of these opportunities for a whole academic year. University sport is a huge thing at Essex. On the largest campus, we have a sports arena that has amazing basketball and volleyball facilities. We have tennis courts, rugby, football, of course, tennis. We have over 40 different sports clubs, and sport is a big thing. If you play sport at a competitive level, then you can try out for one of the teams. But if you just want to play sport for fun or try something new, then you can definitely do that. And we encourage our students to do that as well. So the largest campus that is Colchester, it sits on 200 acres of parkland. It kind of feels like a mini city. Everything you could need is all in one space. And yeah, we have the sports, cinema, theatre, over 20 different hospitality outlets. It's a very, very sociable campus. I'm conscious that I might be talking over. So Sheena, just stop me if you need me to stop at any point. Just a little bit about student housing then. The main thing to take away about what we have at Essex is that we have different options. So depending on students' budgets, depending on how many people you want to be living with, depending on if you want your own private bathroom or you're happy to have shared bathroom facilities because you want it to be a bit cheaper, there's options there for students. I would encourage students, if you're coming to do a master's, living on campus, it just means that you can take advantage of all the facilities that are right on your doorstep. If you're an undergraduate student thinking about coming to study at Essex, then at least for that first year, live on campus. Again, just to get the most out of that experience. And of course, we don't make you live on campus. If you'd rather live in privately rented accommodation off campus, that is an option for you. At Essex, we actually have a gym membership included in our accommodation contract as well on the Colchester campus. And when you're looking at costs, it's inclusive of everything. So there's no additional fees that you need to be worried about. So very, very quickly, application process. If you're an undergraduate student, you can apply via UCAS. And if you're a postgraduate, so either master's or PhD, you can apply directly. I would say don't hesitate to reach out to Sheena and the team at the Student Centre. That's what they're there for, and they can help you with the application process as well. So I've mentioned most of this already, but let me just tell you my favourite thing about Essex. So we have around 19,000 students across our 3 campuses, but of those students, around 40% are from outside of the UK. So it's a really, really international international university, and students are from all over the world. I think it really adds to the learning experience and environment. Obviously, if you're from the Caribbean and you come and study at a university like Essex, you'll be in a classroom with students who are from a completely different part of the world. And before your academics and professors have even taught you anything, I feel like just that classroom experience, learning from other students who have different backgrounds and experiences and stories to you, that in itself is such a valuable learning experience. And of course, it's a great way to meet people and make friends from all over the world. We are a university that's known for social sciences. We do have 3 faculties, so social sciences, arts and humanities, and science and health. And across those 3 faculties, we have 21 academic departments. So entry requirements at an undergraduate level, most of our courses, we would accept 3 passes in the CAPE qualifications at Unit 2 level, all at grade 2 or above. If you're taking international qualifications like the International Baccalaureate or American high school qualifications, we can accept combinations of those all as well. If you're not taking the CAPE examinations or CAPE exams, or or you're not taking international high school qualifications, then you might be looking at doing a foundation program. We do have an international college on our main campus, which then leads to progression to the undergraduate degrees. For our masters, we would ask for a GPA of 2.5 or above from the University of West Indies or equivalent to that. And then there are English language qualification requirements as well. So fees and funding, this is accurate for 2024 entry. Our fees, we would ask for around 19.5 to just under £23,000. That's per academic year. Obviously, if you're looking at a master's, because they're just 1 year, that would be the total cost. I am just in the process of trying to negotiate a new scholarship, which students from the Caribbean would be eligible for 2025. That's still in the pipeline. I'm still trying to get that pushed over the line, but I'm hoping that there will be some scholarships that are specific to students from the Caribbean. So do keep in touch with me, and as soon as I have more information, or keep in touch with Sheena and the Student Centre, and as soon as I have more information on that, I'll be able to update you. So that's everything. I hope I haven't overrun by too much. My contact information is on the screen. Please don't hesitate to reach out to me if you have any questions. As I said right at the beginning, that's what I'm here for. And yeah, obviously we'll stay on the call for any Q&As until the end. So yeah, thank you very much.
You so much, Emma. We have a few questions in the Q&A, but we will get to that after Irene's presentation. What I would like to say at this time is that you can apply to the University of Essex via the CutClass website, as Essex is subscribed to the CutClass platform. They have their own dedicated page. You can apply just going on the CutClass website. I'll put it in the chat box for persons in the Zoom that you can go to, and a member of the Caribbean Application Center team will reach out to you, and I'll also put what the dedicated email address for persons applying via the CutClass platform. I'll put that also in the chat as well. We're going to turn to UWE Bristol, and Irene is going to walk us through and tell us about studying in the UK and what UWE Bristol has to offer. Hi, Irene. Thanks for joining
Hi,
us.
Sheena. Thank you very much. Can you see my presentation?
Yeah, we
Sheena,
can
can you
see it.
just...
We
Yeah,
can see it. You're good to go. Yeah,
that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Thank you very much. So
you're welcome.
just to quickly introduce myself, my name is Irene Holdsworth, and I'm International Recruitment Manager at UWE Bristol, or University of the West of England in Bristol. And I look after international recruitment for the College of Arts, Technology and Environment. So first of all, I will probably repeat a few things that Emma already mentioned, but I also want to say a few words why you would choose to study in the UK, because this is what this webinar is about. So UK is an increasingly popular study destination. I've put the map here on the right-hand side for you to see. So the United Kingdom, we are actually at the very, very bottom. So if you look, there is a red arrow there pointing to Bristol in the southwest of England. That's where we are. So that's where University of the West of England is situated. We have a globally recognized education system in the United Kingdom. And another important factor is that it would save you time and money to come to study to us, because, for example, Emma already mentioned that our most undergraduate programs in the UK are only 3 years, and most of our postgraduate courses are 1 year duration. You will also be able to develop interpersonal skills, because this is what UK education system is about. You will be encouraged to develop such skills as critical thinking, analysis, independence, confidence. And another important factor that our university is making sure that we sustain the same level is small group teaching. So we ensure that our students study in small groups, which means that there's a lot more individual attention to each student. You will be able to make global connections, because also we have a lot of international students at our university, I think students are coming from 140 different countries, so you will make friends and networks. you will be able to work during your studies and beyond. So a lot of our students have part-time jobs. They work either on campus or in city center. There are lots of opportunities for part-time jobs during term time and also during holidays, even more so. And also after you've graduated, you will be able to stay to work in the UK for a further 2 years or 3 years if you have done a research degree. And you will be able to explore the history and heritage of the UK and travel to Europe. So, for example, we have an international airport in Bristol, which connects you directly to places like Paris, Rome, Barcelona, and it's just within a few hours from Bristol. So, Paris, I think it's literally just over an hour. So, it's really easy to go and visit Europe while you're here. And here is a photo of the Bristol harbour side, which is a very popular destination. We always see a lot of our students just chilling and spending time there during the summer. We have a lot of different festivals running there as well. For example, a music festival which takes place every year. And in general, Bristol is a very vibrant, very diverse, very friendly city. According to the latest census, it's been calculated that there are 91 languages spoken in Bristol, and there are people from 180 different countries here. So the types of degrees that you can study in the UK, again, this is repeating already. So 3 years bachelor's degrees, you can do bachelor's of arts or bachelor's of science. A lot of our courses offer a work placement in industry as part of the undergraduate degree, which will make it 4-year bachelor degree if you decide to do it. It's an optional opportunity, but so you don't have to do it, but a lot of students are really interested in getting some additional professional experience on top of their studies. So it's a good way to boost your CV. And some of the courses also have study abroad as part of this placement. You can also study a master's degree, and in fact, for some courses, we have an integrated master's. So, for example, for engineering courses, we have a MEng. For some science-based courses, we have Masters of Science, which are a 4-year integrated degree. And if you add a work placement in industry on top, so in 5 years, you can actually complete your bachelor's degree plus your master's degree, plus have a year of experience working in industry. So it's a really good opportunity to do it this way, and it's a lot faster than in other countries. And we also offer foundation degrees to those students who require foundation before coming into the first year of our undergraduate degrees. And I just wanted to mention a few courses that you may be interested in. So, for example, in our School of Engineering, we have a wide range of engineering courses, starting from a versatile engineering program, mechanical engineering, and doing it a bit more specific, studying, for example, if you're interested in robotics. We have Bristol Robotics Laboratory on site, which is one of the largest in Europe. And so students have a lot of opportunities to get involved, not just during their study, but outside of their study to take part in research projects and so on. And at postgraduate level, we also have several engineering-based degrees that you may be interested in, including MSc Robotics, which is largely based in Bristol Robotics Laboratory and which is a joint degree between UWE Bristol and the University of Bristol. And then also we offer a good suite of architecture and environment courses. So our 5 architecture courses are very popular. As I said, most of our bachelor's degrees are 3 years. However, we do offer 2 programs in architecture, which are dual awards, and that's why they're 4-year degrees. So it's architecture and planning and architecture and environmental engineering. So if you are interested to get 2 awards for the price of 1 during 4 years, then you can become an architect and a planner, or an architect and an engineer. And these 2 specialities are very much sought after, as you can imagine, because these specialists are very sought after. And at postgraduate level, we offer Masters of Architecture. So if you want to become a practicing architect, you would need to complete Part 1 RIBA, which is the Royal Institute of British Architects accredited program, which is, for example, BSc Architecture, followed by part 2 RIBA accredited program, which is MH Architecture, and this is an exception. It's a 2-year program because all our other programs in postgraduate studies are 1-year degrees. We also have a lot of good programs in computing, very popular programs as well. So, for example, cybersecurity and digital forensics and computer science and technology-based programs. And at postgraduate level, we offer some very popular courses such as artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, data science, and so on. And for business and law courses, I haven't done the breakdown between undergraduate and postgraduate because most of these courses which are listed here are offered at both undergraduate and postgraduate levels, so as bachelor's and as master's as well. So again, there's a wide variety of programs available. International law and international business are very popular courses, and obviously MBA and project management. And I wasn't able to fit all our accrediting bodies on the slide, but most of our courses hold professional accreditations. So here are all the professional accrediting bodies that have been accrediting our programs. And also the content of most of our programs have been designed with input from industry. So entrance criteria. Academic achievement is key to success. And we do not have quotas for our courses, so we're looking for the brightest and the best students. And of course, each university may have its own set of entrance criteria, and also entrance criteria differ from course to course. So for example, if you apply for engineering, you would need to have a slightly higher level of math, for example, compared to if you apply to business and management, because there are no specific subject requirements for business and management. And so on. So again, if you apply for science-based courses, for example, biomedical science, which I haven't mentioned here because I couldn't fit all the programs, I only mentioned kind of the most popular ones, but we do have biomedical and biological science, and for these 2 programs, you would require to have studied at least 2 different sciences and have a higher qualification in science. But you would need to check individual courses because qualifications vary and entrance criteria vary. We also have a country page on UWE Bristol website. So if you go to our country page, I can copy and paste the link for you after this presentation. Then you can choose your country where you're coming from, and it will provide specific requirements for your country. But we accept a wide variety of qualifications, for example, international baccalaureate, a high school diploma, plus different tests such as SAT, AP, and so on. So there's a wide variety of different tests of qualifications that are acceptable in order to enter our university. Some universities in the UK would invite you for an interview. For UWE Bristol, for my university, we only invite some postgraduate students for interview, but normally you wouldn't be expected to attend an online interview for undergraduate course, and only for some postgraduate you would be expected to attend an interview. Otherwise, it's quite a straightforward application, personal statement, which is really important, again, as part of your application, and I will mention it in the next slide. Some courses would ask you to provide a portfolio. So, for example, art and design courses, you would need to submit a portfolio as part of your application. Again, which portfolio, it depends on the course that you would like to apply for. And we have selection pages on our website, which would provide you detailed information for each specific course on what to include into your portfolio. Some universities ask for different sort of testing, which is specific to a subject area, for example, LNAT, which you would be expected to take if you want to study law, but we do not ask for this testing. So basically, as long as you meet our academic requirements and you've provided a personal statement, then you will be given an offer. So now having a quick look at the personal statement. There it is. So for personal statement, it's really important to let us understand why you want to study this course. So of course your qualifications are important, but personal statement is something that makes it more personal. It's more about you and it brings your application to life. So for us, it's a really good way to differentiate from one applicant to another. And in terms of what to include into your personal statement, well, first of all, make sure that you explain really why you want to study this particular course. You will need to mention your skills and achievements. It can be academic or it can be completely outside of school, can be related more to your hobbies and interests. It's absolutely fine. The most important thing is to show your commitment. So, for example, if you've done several years of drama or played football for several years, this shows your commitment and this shows your devotion to something, dear to you, and that would prove to us that you would take your university study seriously as well. So it's a good way to include things like this. And then work experience, that can be either paid or voluntary. Again, if there is a way to link your work experience to the course of study, that makes it even better. But even if it's not unrelated, just make sure that you include it. And a few concluding statements why you want to study this specific course and come to our university. The word limit is 4,000 characters or 47 lines of text. And you can apply through the Universities and Colleges Admission Service, UCAS, or through the Common Application. The UCAS is an online resource that is used by all universities in the UK for admissions. So all students can apply for 5 courses at the same time through UCAS, and then you will have to make sure that you identify your top choice and your second or insurance choice, as we call it. And if you apply through the common application, then, oh yes, I should mention that to apply through UCAS is free. If you apply through the common application, then there is a small fee, but again, it would cover 5 applications. So it depends on which universities you apply to, but it's between 30 to 75 American dollars. So your application will consist of 4 different parts: personal details, your qualifications, and make sure that you provide all the transcripts, all the certificates, personal statement, and reference, which can be either from your teacher, or if you are interested in a master's course and have had some experience already, maybe work experience, or have been in working as a professional already, then it can be from your current employer as well. So it depends what suits you. And finally, this is my final slide. Sorry if I'm going over the time a bit. So campus life is very rich at UWE Bristol. We have campus accommodation, and I've provided here 2 photos for you just to see what student accommodation looks like. So this is our own campus accommodation. It's normally set in apartments, and each apartment is shared between 4 to 6 different students. So each student would have a private room with ensuite bathroom, and then they share the common space, kitchen, dining room, and so on. We also have excellent student wellbeing services on campus and disability service, and our student union has over 130 different clubs and societies. There can be sports societies, or sometimes it's country-based, language-based, or we even have Harry Potter societies. So absolutely everything that you can find, and if you can't find the one that you're interested in, then you can always start one yourself. And that's the end of my presentation. So I've provided the email address for our Americas team here, because this is not, I don't work with them in the Americas team. I work with the Faculty of Arts, Environment and Technology, but you can always contact Americas, and my colleagues will be able to get back to you and answer to your questions. And also you can look up on our website. And as I said, if you're interested in a specific course and you want to know the entry requirements, go on our website, search specific course, and it will provide you the entry requirements for a specific course. And good luck with your applications. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Irene, for the information on UWE Bristol. Each university offering a variety of options. One thing I must say from touring UK universities over the years is that I do like that you have your own sleeping room and you don't have some of the traditional dorms like other destinations where you might have someone in the same sleep space as you. So usually I do find the dormitory and the overall general campus life quite refreshing, and also a lot of accessibility services that students can provide. So lots of good incentives. Let's do a summary of some of those before we get into the question. So I know person think about the exchange rate with pound, but remember UK undergraduate degrees are typically 3 years in length. Some might be a little bit more due to a placement, a foundation, or an inculcated master's. And so there are different reasons why it might be longer. Then they have you can do architecture. Some destinations, architecture is not always available at the undergraduate level, but you do have options to pursue architecture at the graduate level. You have quite a number of options with the engineering. One thing I can say, like the uniqueness of the placement year. So you have an option to take a year out into an actual work placement for an entire year. And it would be a co-op or internship in the US dependent, but that is definitely a widespread options across many UK universities. Each school unique in location. I know Essex is you're not too far off from London, but still nicely tucked away from London. Going a bit down south, closer to the coast, we have Bristol, and Bristol is lovely, cost of living good on the dollar the pocket for cost of living wise when compared to London. Each unique offering their own type of options for Caribbean students. And Emma, hopefully you get through that scholarship. I know some Caribbean students will definitely be looking out for that. We have a couple questions in the Q&A, then I have some other questions for you. Let's start first. So we have Linford, he has two questions. He wants to know who offers a bachelor programs in design arts or fine arts. And I know we did something on applications, how to apply, so we can always go over that afterwards. So any programs in design arts and fine arts?
Yes, we do offer a few programs in arts design and fine arts. So we offer BA Fine Arts, BA Interior Design, Graphic Design, and Fashion Communication, Fashion Textiles. So there are quite a few courses in the School of Art and Design. So for these courses, there's no specific subject requirements. You can study any subject that you wish to study, but there is a portfolio requirement, and portfolio is really important because, as you can imagine, these are creative courses, so there's a selection process. As I mentioned in my presentation, we have selection pages where you can get specific information what to include into your portfolio for each specific course that you're interested in, because there are slightly different requirements for them. And then there are also instructions on how to submit your digital portfolio for us to be able to review it. So once you've submitted your portfolio, you may be invited for an interview, but most of the time students are not invited. Most of the time they just do the portfolio and complete a task because there is a small task involved as part of the portfolio as well. Again, it depends on the course. Sometimes you're asked to film your work and kind of provide an audio on top of the video to explain what you're showing, and it's a very short, like literally 2-minute video, something like this, but it depends on the course. So the most important thing about the portfolio is to show the progress of your work, the developmental stage as well. So just a quick tip, do not just include all the final pieces, make sure that you show the whole process. What or who influenced you, how you developed your ideas, maybe if you're sketching with a few, maybe written explanations of what is what, and so on, and then the final pieces at the end. So it's the whole storyboard that we want to see, and that's what counts most.
What will you, Emma?
Unfortunately, we don't have fine arts. We have the closest thing is we offer programs in the history of art, curating, museum studies. We have creative courses in creative writing and film studies, but unfortunately not in fine art. But I think Irene did a really good explanation there of academic entry requirements, and I would say that one of the things with UK universities, generally speaking, is the admission process is very transparent. So as Irene was explaining, what is required if you want to be offered a place at UWE. UK universities have this information very clearly published on our web pages. So do spend time doing your research just to make sure that you are that there's no surprises along the way. And if there is anything that doesn't make sense, then I would really encourage you to reach out to the equivalent to Irene or myself, whatever university it is that you might be looking at. We're here to help you and yeah, make it as clear as possible. So yeah, just wanted to add that, but no, unfortunately, we don't have fine art at Essex.
Well, thank you, Emma. So Linford, I hope that helps. So UWE Bristol do have quite a few options in the area that you're focusing on. And so I know Irene would have put their contact information up at some point. But remember, these two schools are listed on the CupFest platform. So you can visit the CupFest school directory and their page is available for Essex and UWE Bristol. You can even send messages to the assigned email addresses through there. And we also are on Handy App Center team. You can email apply@caribbeanappcenter.com. This is connected with any application that comes through the CupFest Apply page. I do have a couple other questions for you. So I know that we mentioned about I made a mention of a placement year. I would like some details on how that placement year would work. And a couple follow-up questions to that would be, are placement years paid? Do they have to be in the UK? Can they be outside? How does organizing a placement work in the UK?
That's a really good question. And sorry, I mean, I'll jump in quickly and then you can add anything that I might have missed. I always encourage students who are applying to study an undergraduate degree or even a master's degree in some cases to think about adding a placement year or a study abroad year, because I think there's such great opportunities. But the placement year, especially if you're career orientated, like if you're already thinking about how you can use your degree and what it is that you want to be doing professionally once you've graduated from university, then adding a placement year is a really great way to graduate from university with industry experience. So I was speaking to one of our international students just yesterday. She's in her second year. She's about to finish her second year studying law, I think. Anyway, that doesn't matter, but she's about to go on to complete a placement year. She starts in July of this summer, and then for a whole year she'll be employed by this. It's a global company. She's working very close to London. I was asking her, maybe it was a bit rude of me, but she was telling me how much she's going to be paid, and I was shocked. It was much more than what I was being paid when I graduated from university, even though it was a few years ago. But it can be such a great way to earn money whilst you're still studying as a student. But most importantly, it's such a great way to gain skills and experience within a company. And this is a job, you're not just making tea or answering the phone or taking messages. It's going to be a designated role within an organization. So you get, professional work experience for a full year. And then once you've completed the year, you would come back and complete your studies at the university. And you're using all this information and skills that you've been getting on your placement year in your final year of study. So a lot of academics will say students that have gone on to do a placement year are actually more prepared, and in some cases just they perform better in their final year having had that professional work experience as well. My brother, just to answer your question about international, my brother, when he did his placement year, he actually went to Poland for a year. So he had an international experience living in a different country whilst he completed his placement year. He absolutely loved it. And then when he graduated from university, that company ended up offering him a job, and he's since worked in Romania, in Hungary. He's now in London. So it can, of course, open doors. There are no guarantees with this, but I'm very passionate about it. You can probably tell I regret not doing a placement year or study abroad year quite a lot. So I do really encourage students to think about doing it, especially if you're career orientated. But yeah, Irene, I don't know if I missed anything that you'd like to add.
I can just echo what you said, Emma, because yeah, I fully agree that it's such a great opportunity. It's a shame not to take it for students these days because they have so many options open to them, and it's whether it's work experience in industry, and it would be a relevant experience to what you study anyway, or whether it's a study abroad option, it would just open your horizon. You would make new friends, new connections. It would just give you so much more than if you wouldn't have done it. And we've also got international students. One example springs to mind from aerospace engineering. It was a student who a couple of years ago did a placement here in Airbus, which is situated actually only 10 minutes away from the university here in Bristol. And she had an amazing experience. And she, as soon as she graduated, she got a job really fast because it boosted her CV so much, and she had so much good experience and good skill set and knowledge out of her placement here that it basically just everything aligned for her after graduation straight away. And also similarly to you, Emma, I've got a personal experience as well. So my daughter went on study abroad year to Paris. And again, she absolutely loved it. So she didn't have a placement here. She didn't work. She was studying in the Panthéon-Assas University in Paris for a year. And again, she's fluent in French now. I mean, she could speak French before, but not so good. But yeah, it's given her so much. It just really opens up a lot of opportunities for you in life.
And one of the
Thanks.
things as well,
Oh,
sorry, just whilst I remember, so although it will add an additional year to your study, you don't actually pay a whole year's worth of fees. So the placement year, well, it might vary actually from university to university. So that's worth something looking at. But it is typical that you won't be paying full tuition fees. Usually it's just a percentage, a nominal amount for both the study abroad or placement year. So don't think that you're suddenly then paying a full year's worth of tuition. It's a very cost-effective way to get these experiences.
Yes, and it's exactly the same for UWE Bristol as well.
thanks. And that was actually going to be my follow-up question. So thanks, Emma, for jumping in on that. I want to tackle, there was, I think it was in your presentation, Emma, you talked about sports and athletes who pay competitively. And so I just wanted to clarify, do those persons have to reach out to the coaches prior to applying, or do they apply, enroll, and then they can do a walk-on if they're interested in playing competitively? How does that work? And are there scholarships available for those persons?
Yes, it depends. So, I mean, I would always recommend, typically what would happen is the student would apply to study the program first, and then they'll start having those conversations with relevant sports coaches about their eligibility for a potential scholarship or bursary. It's very hard for me to answer because it really is assessed on a case by case basis. It totally depends on the athlete. But there are scholarships and bursaries available depending on the sport, of course, and depending on the athlete. It's always worth having those conversations, I would say, before registering and before starting your studies, just in case you are eligible for further discounts. But if you play a sport competitively, but you're not really interested in scholarships or bursaries or discounts, but you just want to play a sport at a competitive level, then of course you can try out for the teams. Anyone would be welcome to try out for those sports. So yeah, I hope that answers the question.
And can I just also add that we also have the same arrangement at UWE Bristol, and we offer up to 50% discounts scholarships on the tuition fees, but same as in Essex University, it depends on sport and different factors. So yeah, you would need to have this conversation beforehand to make sure that you've got all the information you need.
Thank you, Irene. Thank you, Emma, for that. So if you are interested in playing competitive sports, there are pathways for you. Each university will vary by university, but it's good to have maybe reach out first to see what sports are available, one, and then how that process works. And then if the school is one that you're seriously considering to apply to academically as well, the two processes go hand in hand. So do your research, definitely check it out and know that there are possibilities to play competitively and recreationally at both UWE Bristol and University of Essex. Now, my final question for this session is about the application process and the deadline. So I know that persons, if they're applying by UCAS, they usually have a deadline for certain courses, maybe the end of January, but is it a hard and fast deadline? Can persons still apply?
Shall I go first? Okay, so yes, so normally the deadline for applications, if you decide to apply through UCAS, is at the end of January. It's normally the last Wednesday of January, if I'm not mistaken. So, but you can also apply through our local representatives. So we have local representatives, and Sheena would be able to provide you the information on how you can apply. There is also information on our website. There's a country page, which I will copy and paste after this, again, for your information, so you can double check all the requirements for your specific country, and also you would have the offices of the local representatives as well. So, and you can apply, we accept applications through the common application as well to UWE Bristol. So that's another way for you to be able to apply. So both the UCAS website and the common application allow you to choose for up to 5 different universities that you want to apply for. Obviously, for UCAS, there would have to be UK-based universities. For the common application, I believe it's any universities.
And for Essex, we're not on the Common App, so you'd be looking at applying through UCAS, or if you're not applying through UCAS and you want to submit an application direct to Essex, you can do that. But most students at an undergraduate level who are applying to Essex are using UCAS. Yeah, so just be aware with the UCAS of the hard application deadline. So if you are wanting to apply to study medicine, dentistry, or veterinary science, there's a hard application deadline. It's the 15th of October, usually the 15th. If you miss that application, then you do miss out on those courses, and it's the same deadline for Oxford or Cambridge. So that's just general information. And then the UCAS deadline, if you do miss that, don't worry. For us, most of our courses will still remain open, and you can certainly apply to most programs beyond that UCAS deadline that's in January. We would always encourage you to do your best to meet the January deadline, just because competitive courses and competitive universities, you could look at them just not even considering your application. Whereas if you submit before that January deadline, then they have to consider your application fairly and equally.
Thank you, Emma and Irene, for answering that question. So there's still a possibility that you can still apply if you are looking to start your course for this September. I know some courses start in October. So depending on the course that you're applying to, the level course that you are applying to, definitely do your research on that. And one way to help you to do that research is via the CutFast website, so www.cutfastinternational.com. Definitely encourage you to check out the school directory. Essex and UWE Bristol, they do carry pages on that directory. You have the option now to apply to up to 3 schools at no cost in terms of any service fees, because I know different persons might have different arrangements, but it's a free service to apply to up to 3 schools. They will be, if some schools do have application fees, so if there's an application fee, you will pay the application fee. If there isn't an application fee, then that's great for you. You can save a pretty penny on that. So you choose your schools. If it's UWE Bristol, if it's Essex, you can put in, those schools are listed on the drop-down menu, and you have to have the information on the course that you are applying to. So you put in the name of the program code, and your intended start date. I think at this time, there's still some availability for some programs still for September 2024. And in some cases, at some point, there's some programs available in January. Some schools do have more than one intake depending on the program. So definitely do your research. Use the CutFast as a free resource, online resource for you to do so. I want to take this time to thank Irene and Emma for joining me this afternoon, our time here. And I know it's evening. If you guys are in the UK, you're 4 or 5 hours ahead of us. So it's a good way to end today, I guess, for you guys joining me here online. I want to thank those that joined us on Zoom, those that peeked on the Facebook stream. This video will be made available via the Facebook stream fully after we close down, and later on via our Instagram and YouTube channel. So definitely subscribe to the Student Center Media's YouTube channel. You can take a look at a number of videos that are uploaded there. You can also follow us on Facebook, and you can follow us on Instagram. And once again, www.cutfastinternational. This has been Study in the UK brought to you by the Student Center. Next week, we have applied medicine. And with applied medicine, we're going to be looking at options in which you could become a physician either in the US or the UK by studying in the Caribbean. That promises to be an interesting session. That will be next week, Wednesday at 6 p.m. And stay tuned for more events. We have events going all the way down to June, featuring schools from all over the globe, including right here in the Caribbean. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us until next time.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you very much. Bye.